Alright, so I've given my ankle a bit of recovery. I did not put kinesio tape on today, so kind of vulnerable. This first section goes steep down, and then it's this long grind back up to the start of the loop. And the rocks here, we got a little bit of limestone, so kind of ridge run reminiscent of the Bridger Range, which is mostly limestone, but yeah, we're transitioning into slick rock, sandstone, kind of a mix. It's fun running down, but it's more fun biking down this. And this is steady up. So a couple different techniques. One is the quick step, or as Andrew Garsha used to say, pitter patter. Quick, light little steps. Quick turnover. Another technique is to use those hip muscles, the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, and really push off. Slower turnover, longer strides. But the quick step, especially as it gets steep, it's kind of similar to gearing down, running in a lower gear. And then as it flattens out, you can lengthen your stride. Mix it up. Very technique to give muscles a rest, recruit different muscle groups. Keep doing the same thing for a long period of time, you'll tend to fatigue a particular muscle. So change it up, bring in reinforcements, let some take a break. So this area has about 3,000 feet elevation. Not very high. So in Montana, I live at about 6. Twice as high as this. And then the ridge run varies between about 5 and 9, I think. So it's really not all that high. Unless you're coming from sea level, really don't notice the impact, the elevation. So my heart rate is 150, which, if you use the formulas, 220 minus age for max heart rate, that's about my max. And I'm kind of in the average. Guess I have a average sized heart. Yeah. So it kind of levels out here. I like to try and pick it up where those power poles are. That's the start finish of my course. Yeah, I could feel the fatigue in my legs, especially my quadriceps around my knee. All right, get up to 151 heart rate. There's the white rocks. Okay, so around a little over 21 minutes. So that's a pretty good predictor of my current road 5K fitness. I could probably do a 5K in 21. Not that fast, and definitely a lot slower than what I used to be able to do. But for an old man, not too bad. You can walk down to the junction here, look around. So what we were running on was power line service road, and it goes up to that substation that's sitting on Cottonwood Spring Road or Turkey Ranch Road, Turkey Farm Road, Dutch Ranch Road, Dutch Farm Road. It's got all kinds of different names. Cottonwood Road. And again, that northern corridor is planned to go right through over here. It crosses that road near the T-bone trailhead and just south of the substation there, and then it crosses the Arroyo Trail, the Waterline Service Road, the Ridgeline Trail, the Power Line Service Road, the old historic trail, now known as the Clandestine Trail. So here's the water line. Yeah, the water line is buried here. There's a bunch of different vents along here to create pressure relief. You don't get this big vacuum or pressure built up as the water comes down the hill. All right, we're gonna call her quits here.